Last night, I watched someone get completely controlled right in front of my eyes, and they were smiling the whole time. They had no idea what was really happening to them. And the crazy part is, this happens to you too, more times a day than you can count, and you never see it coming. That's because these people don't look like bad people. They look normal. They sound kind. They might even say they love you. But behind the scenes, they are pulling strings you cannot see, moving pieces on a board you don't even know you are playing on. And the worst part is, you keep giving them exactly what they want while thinking it was your own idea the whole time. I'm about to show you 5 tricks that master manipulators use in complete silence. No yelling, no fighting, no drama, just smooth, quiet control that slowly pushes you into doing things you never planned to do. And here's why you need to stay with this till the end. Once you see these tricks, your brain will never unsee them. You will start catching people doing this to you in real time, and the moment you catch them, their power over you fades like smoke in the air. So get ready, because what I'm about to tell you is going to change how you look at everyone around you from this point on. Let's start. The first sneaky thing they do is make you feel special in the beginning, like you are the most important person in the world. They praise you, they laugh at your jokes, they remember small details you mentioned once. Your mind goes, wow, this person really understands me, this person truly cares. But here is what is really happening behind the curtain. They are building something called a pedestal. They lift you high so that later they can pull you down. And when they pull you down, you will do almost anything just to climb back up again. Think about it this way. Imagine someone gives you candy every single day. You get used to it. You start to love it. Then one day they suddenly stop. No candy at all. You feel disappointed. You start thinking, what did I do wrong? How do I get the candy back? That is the trick. They give you a lot of good feelings at first, then they slowly take them away, and you begin working harder and harder to earn those feelings again. You start doing what they want. You start saying what they want. You even begin changing who you are without realizing it. And the wild part is, you don't notice it happening. You just feel like, I need to try more. I need to be better. I need to fix something. So here is what you need to watch for. If someone is extremely nice to you right away, almost too nice, be careful. Real friendships build trust slowly. Manipulators rush in fast. They shower you with love, then they use that love as a weapon later. Strong people do not need to be placed on a pedestal. They are fine being normal. But people who are being manipulated keep chasing that high they felt at the beginning, always trying to get back to that first feeling. Now, this next one is so sneaky that most people never notice it. Every time they mess up, somehow it turns into a story about how hard their life is. They flip the whole situation around. Let's say they hurt your feelings. They said something rude or cold. Instead of saying sorry, they start talking about their bad day, their painful past, how nobody understands them, how they are always trying their best. And suddenly your brain switches tracks. You think, maybe I'm being too sensitive, maybe I should comfort them instead, and just like that, you end up apologizing to them for being hurt by them. See how that works? Manipulators are experts at making their pain look bigger than yours. Always. Every single time. You lose your job, they once lost 2 jobs. You feel tired, they haven't slept in days. You feel sad, they are even sadder. It becomes a competition of suffering, and they always win the gold medal. Because when they are the biggest victim, you cannot be angry with them. You feel sorry for them instead. You take care of them instead. Your problems slowly disappear, and their problems become the only thing that matters in the room. Here is what real care looks like. Real friends say, I'm sorry I hurt you. What can I do to make it right? Manipulators say, you think you are hurt? Let me tell you about my life. So watch closely. If every time you talk about your feelings it turns into a story about their feelings, that is the trick. They are taking up all the space so there is no room left for you. Strong people can admit they are wrong. Weak people turn everything into their own sad story. This next trick makes my blood boil because it is so planned, so careful, and so sneaky. Master manipulators do not cross your boundaries by accident. They test them on purpose. They want to see what they can get away with. It always starts small. Very small. They borrow something and do not return it. They arrive late. They make a joke that feels a little hurtful. You let it go because it seems like no big deal. But that was the test. They just learned, okay, I can do this, and they will stay quiet. So next time they go a little further. They borrow money. They cancel plans at the last minute. They make a sharper joke. You feel uncomfortable, but you still say nothing. You think maybe I am overreacting. You are not. They are training you. They are teaching you that your limits do not matter. Each time you stay silent, they push more. It is like they are measuring how much you will accept before you finally break. Imagine someone takes one cookie from your jar. You don't mind. Then they take 3 cookies. Then 10. Then the whole jar. And you never said stop because each step felt only a little worse than the last one. That is exactly how they work. Slowly, quietly, testing, pushing, taking. Here is what you should do instead. The first time something feels wrong, say something. Not in a loud way, not in a rude way, just clear and calm. Say, hey, I need that back tomorrow. Or, that joke didn't feel good to me. Or, please don't do that again. Their reaction will tell you everything you need to know. A good person says, I'm sorry, I didn't realize. A manipulator gets defensive. They say you are too sensitive. They say it was just a joke. They say you are making a big deal out of nothing. That is because you just caught them. You stopped their test, and they don't like that at all. Strong people set boundaries early. Manipulated people wait until they are already drowning. Now here is the trick that messes with your mind the most. One day they are warm and kind. The next day they are cold and distant, hot and cold, back and forth, and you cannot understand why. You start thinking, what did I do? What changed? How do I get them to be nice again? And that is exactly what they want. They want you confused. They want you chasing them. They want you working hard just to earn their attention. Here is why this works so well. Your brain hates confusion. It wants answers. It wants patterns. When someone changes every day, your mind goes into overdrive trying to figure them out. You think, maybe they are nice when I do this, maybe they are cold when I do that. But here's the truth. There is no pattern. The confusion is the pattern. They do it on purpose, to keep you off balance, to keep you trying, to keep you focused on them. Think of it like this. If someone was mean all the time, you would leave. If someone was kind all the time, you would relax. But when they switch back and forth, you get hooked on the good moments. You stay, hoping the nice version will come back. It is like a slot machine. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but you keep pulling the handle, hoping for another win. That is what they are doing to your emotions. Here is the truth. Good people are consistent. They do not play games with your feelings. They do not make you guess how they feel about you. You always know where you stand because they show you every day. Manipulators keep you guessing on purpose, because when you are confused, you are easier to control. So watch for this. If you feel like you are walking on eggshells around someone, never knowing which version of them you will meet, that is the trick. They are messing with your head. They are making you dance for their approval. Strong people do not chase mixed signals. They walk away from confusion. Now we reach the final trick, and this one is the most dangerous of all. Master manipulators slowly and quietly cut you off from other people, and they do it so smoothly that you think it was your own idea. It starts with small comments. Your friends don't really understand you like I do. Your family doesn't appreciate you. That person seems fake to me. They plant tiny seeds of doubt about everyone else in your life. Then they water those seeds every chance they get. Soon you start seeing your friends differently. You begin pulling away from your family. You stop going to events. You stop answering calls. And who is still there? Them. Only them. Now you depend on them for everything. You have no one else to talk to, no one else to ask for advice. You are standing alone on an island, and they are the only boat. And here is why this is so dangerous. When you are isolated, you cannot see clearly anymore. You lose outside perspective. You have no one to say, hey, that is not normal, no one to help you when things start going wrong. Think about it like this. Imagine you are in a room with no windows. The only person who comes in tells you it is raining outside every day. You believe them because you cannot see for yourself. That is what isolation does. It makes you believe their version of everything because you have no other view of the world. Here is what real love looks like. Real friends want you to have other friends. Real partners support your family relationships. Real people want your life to be full and rich, not empty and dependent. Manipulators want you alone because alone people are easier to control. Alone people have nowhere to run. Alone people start thinking the manipulator is all they have. So watch closely. If someone makes you feel guilty for spending time with others, that is the trick. If they always say something bad about the people you care about, that is the trick. If you notice you have stopped seeing friends and family as much, ask yourself why. Strong people have full lives with many connections. Manipulated people slowly lose everyone except the person controlling them. And listen to me carefully now. You are not stupid. You are not weak. You are not broken. Manipulators do not go after weak people. They target good people, kind people, people who care deeply, people who trust easily, people who want to believe the best in others. That is why this works. Not because there is something wrong with you, but because there is something right about you. That's you, and that's beautiful. But you need to protect that beautiful part of yourself from people who want to use it. Now you know the 5 silent tricks they make you feel special, then take it away. They play victim. Every time they test your boundaries on purpose, they give you mixed signals. They isolate you slowly. Once you see these tricks, you can't unsee them. You'll spot them in real time. And when you spot them, you have a choice. You can call it out. You can set boundaries. You can walk away. You don't need to fight. You don't need to prove anything. You just need to protect yourself. Here's what I want you to do right now. Pick one person in your life, just one. Think about how they treat you. Do they do any of these 5 things? Be honest. If the answer is yes, you know what you need to do? Start small, set one boundary, notice one trick, take back one piece of your power. And if this video opened your eyes, hit that subscribe button right now because you deserve to know the truth. You deserve to be free from manipulation. Go protect yourself. You've got this. Trick number 1 is the way manipulators use questions, and it is far more powerful than most people realize because it doesn't feel like manipulation at all. On the surface, asking a question seems harmless, even helpful. When someone asks, "Are you sure that's the right choice?" Or, "Do you really think that's the best idea?" It doesn't sound threatening. In fact, it sounds like concern. But the real effect is much deeper. Questions like these are carefully constructed to guide your thinking without you even noticing it. Unlike direct commands or demands, which trigger resistance or defense mechanisms, a well-placed question taps into your natural tendency to evaluate and reflect. It creates a tiny moment of doubt that you weren't experiencing before the question, and your mind automatically starts trying to justify your decision or second-guess yourself. That moment is where the manipulation begins. It's subtle, almost invisible, but it primes you to be more pliable, more open to suggestion, and more likely to align with what the manipulator wants. The person asking the question isn't necessarily looking for an answer. They already know what they want you to do. They're simply nudging your thought process in a direction that benefits them, using your own reasoning as the tool. The brilliance of this tactic is that you don't realize it's happening. You feel like you're thinking independently, like you're making your own choice, but in reality, your thought path has been carefully guided. Over time, repeated use of these questions erodes confidence in your own judgment because you begin to see yourself questioning decisions that were previously clear. It's not a one-time trick. It's a pattern that creates dependency on the manipulator's input. Your mind starts seeking validation, even unconsciously, from the person who is subtly undermining your certainty. This is why manipulators target empathetic and thoughtful people. They know that someone who values reflection and considers others' perspectives will naturally respond to well-phrased questions. They exploit your intelligence and your desire to get things right, turning it into a vulnerability. The danger isn't in the words themselves, but in the mental space they create, the space where doubt takes root and where decisions begin to bend under pressure without any direct force. Recognizing this tactic is the first step toward defense. Once you understand that not every question is neutral or innocent, you can pause, reflect on your own reasoning, and separate your thoughts from the subtle influence being applied. Instead of immediately answering or justifying yourself, you can step back and ask, am I considering this because it's right for me, or because I've been led to doubt myself? Awareness alone diminishes the power of the manipulator because their tool depends entirely on your unawareness. By noticing the pattern, by seeing the intent behind the questions, you reclaim control, strengthen your confidence, and stop the manipulator from guiding your decisions without your consent. Questions, when used as weapons, are almost invisible, but understanding them transforms them from traps into signals you can recognize and resist. Trick number 2 is gaslighting, and it is one of the most insidious psychological tools a manipulator can use because it attacks your sense of reality without you even realizing it at first. Gaslighting doesn't involve yelling, threats, or obvious coercion. Instead, it works quietly, patiently, and consistently, slowly undermining your confidence in what you know to be true. At its core, gaslighting is about making you doubt yourself, your memory, your perception, your judgment, so that over time you begin to rely more on the manipulator's version of reality than your own. It often starts with small, seemingly harmless denials or contradictions like, I never said that, you're remembering it wrong, or you're overreacting. That's not how it happened. These statements are carefully calibrated. They don't scream dishonesty, and they don't accuse you directly. Instead, they plant a seed of doubt that grows with every repetition. The manipulator doesn't need to control you overtly because once you begin questioning yourself, your mental energy shifts towards seeking validation externally, often from the very person who is manipulating you. What makes gaslighting so dangerous is that it exploits a natural human tendency to trust what others tell us, especially if they seem confident, calm, or rational. Over time, this subtle rewriting of reality erodes self-trust. Decisions that once felt simple or obvious become riddled with hesitation, and you start second-guessing even minor judgments. The manipulator often alternates between denying reality and providing small affirmations that make you cling to them even more, creating a psychological loop where you feel dependent on them for clarity or reassurance. Another key tactic in gaslighting is misdirection. While you are busy defending your perception, the manipulator redirects attention away from their behavior, making you focus on your own supposed flaws, overreactions, or misunderstandings. The goal is to make you feel unstable, confused, and unsure, so you give them more power simply by deferring to their version of reality. The effectiveness of this trick is why manipulators often target emotionally intelligent, empathetic individuals, people who naturally reflect, analyze, and care about accuracy. Those qualities, which are strengths in normal interactions, become vulnerabilities under gaslighting. Recognizing gaslighting requires vigilance and self-awareness. It's noticing the pattern where your confidence erodes without external reason, remembering your own experiences clearly, and trusting your instincts even when they conflict with what someone else insists is true. By identifying gaslighting early, you can set boundaries, document your own reality, and maintain mental clarity. Awareness is the only real defense because the moment you stop internalizing their distortions and start trusting your own perception, the manipulator loses control and their psychological power diminishes. Gaslighting is subtle, relentless, and dangerous, but understanding its mechanisms allows you to protect your mind and reclaim authority over your own reality.